All right, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, class, whenever you watch this video. Today we're gonna be in lesson 138, solving equations. So you wanna turn in your book to page 249, okay? And if you wanna grab out your math notebook, hopefully you took it home, or something to write down some notes on. This is something we've been building towards in math, which is solving equations. So I want you to turn to page 249. I want you to take notes, okay? And one of the things I want you to take notes on, what is an equation, okay? Give you another 30 seconds here to turn to page 249 so you can take notes, okay? Pause the video if you need more time, but write down what an equation is based on what it says in your book, okay? And when we look in the book, we see an equation is a mathematical sentence that uses the equal symbol to show two expressions are equal. An algebraic equation contains an unknown number represented by a letter. So we're gonna look at the first part first, which is what is an equation over here? 2 equals 2. Both sides are equal to each other. Is that true? Yes. Okay, second one. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Well, 2 plus 2 is 4. So those two sides of the equation, the left side and the right side, are equal to each other. And you can actually go outside of math and have a little fun with it. Mr. H, if you want to know what I stand for, it's I am equal to strength and wisdom. So I'm the strongest guy in the classroom. I'm the wisest guy in the classroom. So you could replace Mr. H with strength and wisdom, because that's what I am, right? So an equation has both sides that are equal to each other. And let's move on. The next part is an equation will have something that is unknown. And what is unknown will be represented by a letter. Okay, so that means we're going to try and find something out that is unknown. So if I have an example here, x plus 2 equals 4. So we don't know what x is. What number would we plug in to make x an equal number that would make the equation equal? Well, we know that 2 plus 2 equals 4. So actually the answer would be x equals 2, okay? So that is solving equations. We need to find the letter. Now here is the hard part. How do we actually go about solving an equation? And that's where it gets a little tricky, okay? But today we're gonna start diving into how do we do so, okay? So let's look at number 1 in the yellow box on page 249, which says n plus 8 equals 5 times 6, okay? So the first thing we do, step 1, is simplify. To simplify means to make it simpler. What can we do that is already given to us? Well, 5 times 6 is already given to us. So that is the first thing we do. We already know 5 times 6 equals 30. So n plus 8 is equal to 30. Now, to find the value of the letter n, we need to leave it alone. We need to make it on its own on one side of the equation. We need n to be by itself on the one side, and the answer will be on the other side. But how do we get rid of this 8? And that is the key to solving these equations. You actually do the opposite to both sides of the equation. What do I mean by that? I mean, if it's addition on 8, right here, I need to subtract 8. But we do it to both sides of the equation. Well, 8 minus 8 is 0, so we've made n by itself. 30 minus 8 is 22. Some of you already knew the answer, but it's how do we solve it? And n plus 8 minus 8 is n, okay? And 30 minus 8 is 22. So that's how you go about solving it. You do the opposite to the side with the letter, and then you do the opposite on the other side as well. We're going to do a few more examples here. So step 1, simplify. Step 2 is to make the letter by itself on one side. And how do we do that? We do the opposite to the numbers with n. Now we're gonna use a new letter, okay? Because you can use any letter of the alphabet, okay? So 4n, we'll just use n again, I guess, equals 12, okay? Times 2. So the first step, again, is to simplify. So we're going to simplify 12 times 2, which is 24. And we cannot simplify on the other side. So 4n equals 24. The next thing we need to do is get rid of the numbers that are along with n. Well, this is a multiplication problem. 4 times n, any number next to a letter is multiplication. So what should we do to that side? Well, the opposite of multiplication is division. So we should divide by 4. But we can't just do it to one side, we gotta do it to both sides. We gotta be equal. It's an equal sign after all. We gotta be equal to both sides of the equation. We can't be unfair, okay? So 4 divided by 4 is 1n. And 24 divided by 4 is 6. Now in the yellow box it says to check your answers. How do we check our answers? We plug our number back in. 4 times 6, does that equal 12 times 2? Well, 4 times 6 is 24, and 12 times 2 is 24. It checks out, okay? So that is how we do solving equations. We do the opposite. So this was multiplication. So we divided here, okay? The opposite to get n by itself, okay? So let's do a couple more. And this is for those who are still struggling with the idea. Remember, the letter is a representation of a question mark, basically. We don't know what should go into the equation to make it equal. Now I'm going to use the letter X, okay? So the letter X okay, so the letter X is our new equation. So simplify is the first step. Well, 4 times 12 is 48 divided by 6, which is equal to 7? No, 8. So 4 times 12 was 48 divided by 6 was 8. 8 equals 4 plus x, okay? And most of you, by looking at the answer there, you can figure out x equals 4, but how do we show that? Well, we subtract 4 from both sides, x equals 4. When you plug the number back in, does it work out? 4 plus 4 equals 8, and we figured out earlier that this side also equals 8, so that checks out, okay? One more problem. And this problem is actually number 1, letter A. So we're going to do number 1, letter A together. X plus 3 equals 27 over 9. So the first step is to simplify. Well, we can simplify 27 divided by 9. 9, 18, 27, which is equal to 3. X plus 3 equals 3. Next thing we do is we gotta get the letter by itself, okay? So we do the opposite. We have a plus 3 here, so we should subtract 3. And we subtract 3 from both sides. We gotta be equal to both sides. X equals 0. Does that check out? 0 plus 3 is 3. 27 divided by 9 is 3. So that does check out. So our answer there is x equals 0. Okay? And to check your answer, you plug the number back in. All right, we're gonna pause the video there.